The first challenge Pippin faced was his own fear. He had always relied on Farmer Jules to take care of him, and leaving the safety of the pumpkin patch was a scary thought. But Pippin knew that if he wanted to fulfill his dream, he'd have to be brave. That night, as the stars twinkled above, Pippin rolled himself out of the patch. His little round body wobbled as he crossed the field, and the cold breeze made him shiver. He didn't know where to go, but he whispered to himself, "I'll find a way. I have to." As Pippin rolled along the edge of the forest, he heard a rustling sound. Out from the bushes hopped a hungry rabbit, its nose twitching as it sniffed the air. "A pumpkin," the rabbit said, licking its lips. "You would make a tasty snack." Pippin froze in place. His little pumpkin heart beat wildly in his chest. "Please don't eat me," Pippin squeaked. "I'm on a journey to become a jack-o'-lantern." The rabbit tilted its head, curious. "A jack-o'-lantern? That's strange for a little pumpkin like you." "I know I'm small," Pippin said, "but I have a big dream. Please let me go." The rabbit thought for a moment, then smiled. "Well, a pumpkin with a dream should be given a chance. I won't eat you, little one. Good luck on your journey." Pippin thanked the rabbit and continued on his way, feeling a surge of relief. But he knew there would be more challenges ahead. Pippin's path soon led him to a steep hill. The ground sloped sharply upward, and for a small pumpkin like him, it seemed impossible to climb. But Pippin remembered the stories he had heard about jack-o'-lanterns lighting up high places, and he thought, "I have to climb this hill. If jack-o'-lanterns can shine from high places, I must be able to reach it." He rolled himself up the hill with all his strength. The ground was rough and rocky, and more than once Pippin nearly tumbled backward. But he gritted his pumpkin teeth and pushed on. His little body ached with the effort, but after what felt like hours, he finally made it to the top. Out of breath but proud, Pippin looked out over the wide fields below. The view was magnificent, but there was no time to rest. He had to keep moving. As the night grew colder, Pippin felt the chill more and more. His skin began to stiffen in the frosty air, and he shivered uncontrollably. The stars above seemed so distant, and Pippin felt alone. His small size made the cold even harder to bear. "Maybe the others were right," he thought sadly. "Maybe I am too small to be a jack-o'-lantern." But just as Pippin was about to give up, a family of field mice scurried by. They saw Pippin shaking in the cold and gathered around him. "We'll keep you warm, little pumpkin," said one of the mice. They snuggled close, and their tiny bodies provided enough warmth for Pippin to continue on. Grateful for their kindness, Pippin thanked the mice and promised to tell them his story once he became a jack-o'-lantern. The next day, a mischievous wind began to blow through the fields. It howled and whipped through the trees, and poor Pippin was tossed about like a leaf. The wind blew him off course, spinning him this way and that until he lost his sense of direction entirely. Pippin tried to hold on to the ground with his little pumpkin stem, but the wind was too strong. It carried him high into the air, tossing him far away from the path he had been following. When the wind finally calmed down, Pippin found himself in a strange part of the countryside, far from where he had started. But instead of feeling discouraged, he took a deep breath. "I've come this far," he told himself. "I can't stop now." After several more hours of rolling through fields and over pebbled paths, Pippin arrived at a bustling farmer's market. Pumpkins of all shapes and sizes were being sold, and some were even being carved right there for Halloween. Pippin's heart leaped with excitement. This was his chance. He rolled over to a stall where a little girl was picking out a pumpkin. "Pick me! Pick me!" Pippin wished silently, but the girl passed him by without a second glance. Pippin tried rolling in front of other children, but they all chose the bigger, shinier pumpkins. No one seemed to notice the small pumpkin sitting quietly at the edge of the market. Just when Pippin thought his dream was slipping away, an old man approached the stall. His eyes scanned the pumpkins, and when he saw Pippin, his face broke into a kind smile. "I'll take this one," the man said, lifting Pippin gently. "It may be small, but it's just the right size for me." Pippin couldn't believe it. He was finally chosen. He nestled in the man's arms, his heart swelling with joy. The old man took Pippin back to his cozy little cottage. There on the kitchen table were candles, carving tools, and a small knife. Pippin's heart raced. This was the moment he had been waiting for. The man hummed softly as he carved a small, cheerful face into Pippin's skin. Pippin winced a little. It wasn't easy being carved, But he knew it was all part of the process. He could feel the man's gentle hands working carefully, and soon Pippin had a bright, smiling, jack-o'-lantern face. The man placed a candle inside Pippin, and as the flame flickered to life, Pippin glowed from within. He was finally a jack-o'-lantern. The man carried Pippin outside and placed him on the front porch. As night fell, Pippin's warm light shone brightly in the darkness, guiding trick-or-treaters and lighting up the path for all who passed by. Pippin beamed with pride. He had faced many difficulties, fear, hunger, the cold, and the wind. But he had never given up, and now he was exactly what he had always dreamed of becoming, a jack-o'-lantern. As the stars twinkled overhead and the laughter of children filled the night air, Pippin whispered to himself, "I did it. I'm a jack-o'-lantern." And there, glowing softly on the old man's porch, Pippin knew that every challenge he had faced had been worth it. He had fulfilled his dream, and now he would light up the night, bringing joy to everyone who saw him.